Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Latinaly podcast. I am going through a lot of emotions this week. I am in my last week of work, which is like kind of mind blowing to me. I've been at BET since 2017, and I just like can't believe that Friday is my last day. But I have to tell you, I am gagged for it. I'm honestly so excited, and I'm just so ready. Like, I'm so ready. This change is so needed. Like, it just is. And my office is getting a lot of things done to it. I'm starting to like do more things in my home. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this feels like this is like the perfect time. This is it. And I'm fucking thrilled, to be honest with you. Oh my goodness. And I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and I was just like, I feel really, really good. She's like, I'm so glad that you feel that way. Like, I have to start feeling that way. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not worried about us. I'm not worried about us in the slightest. I'm like, you are so fucking smart. You are so talented. Like, you are everything, bitch. So there's nothing that I even have to I'm not concerned, but best believe. And I told her already, I'm like, any opportunity that comes my way, any freelance and they need, and I got you. I eat, you eat, and I'm like, I went to a few networking events, which is like always has been a really anxiety riddling thing for me, going to networking events, because it's like, I don't want to go there and meet new people and like network and rub elbows and blah, blah, blah. And now I like itch for that shit, which is weird. I just think you turn 30, and then all of like the advice that all these rich people give, you're like, you know what? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. And it's almost like all the anxiety that you have when you go to these things, or like even just like the thought of going to a fucking networking event literally crippled me. Like 2 years ago, I was like, fuck no, I don't want to go to no freaking networking event. I want to go network. I want to go meet people. And now I'm like, yeah, no, we got to go. I want to meet all the people. I'm like, no, let me rub elbows with the most successful women in the room. Yeah, sure, guys too, but fuck, I want to, you know, with my boss bitch queen. That's what I'm trying to do. So I went to one this past Saturday. I went to another one, and so I got some things in the work. So I just am going to enjoy my month off, get my work, do my thing. But this week is my last week. Very gagged, very excited. So yes, I was ahead on my podcast episodes, and I'm not. I'm not anymore. Fucking love that for me. Anyway, and like, I'm recording 2 episodes today. What? Like, who the fuck am I? Fucking killing it today. So I actually just recorded our second signed Kaya, and there was a question on there that just really had me in my thoughts. And I was like, I have to write this script. Like, I need it, because it's something that happens to all of us. It's really difficult to sit with. And it's really shitty when it happens, but it's so common. And when I got that question, I was just like, yeah, this needs to be a fuller episode. 100%. And it's really common to get hurt by people who never apologize. It's really common to not get to receive any closure, especially when they move on like it's nothing and you're the one feeling like shit in the end, because all this stuff is weighing on your shoulders and you're just left. You are the collateral damage, and you are left in the rubble of all of this pain and negativity and disappointment and really shitty weight. And it's like, what do we do? What do we do when someone hurts us and they don't apologize or take accountability for their actions? So today we're going to talk about forgiveness when closure never comes. Not everything is linear. Not everything is so black and white. There are a lot of dynamics and elements and nuances of relationships that really play a part in how we do feel about these people. And the one thing I really want to do, though, is clearly say, I always forgive. And we're going to break it down, because it's almost as though there's like a myth around forgiveness where it's like, because I forgave you, that means I am going to let you slide. and you're going to get to come right back in and do it the fuck again. No. And that is in different relationship dynamics. A friend, a colleague, a family, a parent, a grandparent. Like, it's, I mean, honestly, it's all the same. Whether you have to keep this person in your life or you chose to cut them off. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean that I'm going to let you right back in. I've had so many situations where I've had to forgive with no fucking apology. It's interesting. This particular situation is really interesting because I ended up getting an apology, but like a really weird one. So I had an ex who I don't even know that he broke up with me. He kind of just like ghosted me. I had an ex ghost me before my 18th birthday. And this was, I think, like December, or this was in the first week of December. And he just left. Like, he went to another fucking state and I didn't hear shit. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we broke up. And also, too, I had just bought him all these Christmas gifts and we were doing a little bit of a long distance relationship. You know, we have it kind of on and off and it was a little bit of a mess, but I thought we were doing really well. I thought we were on the up and up. I'm like, oh my God, like this is great. Like we're doing so great. I love you. I bought him all these Christmas gifts and he didn't buy me anything, which whatever. And he just left. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? I'm texting and I'm texting and I'm calling and I'm calling. And now the calls and texts are not even going through. It's almost like I'm blocked and I'm not getting through. And I was like, is this motherfucker kidding me right now? We're talking about a very ripe, toxic 17-year-old. So I was rabid and I was furious when my calls and texts weren't going through because now I was like, do I need to send a carrier pigeon? How the fuck can I find him? Can I track him down? Like I was gonna go full fucking mercenary on him. And then my birthday came and I was like 18, new year, new me. And I was like, okay, I'm never going to hear from him again. This is the worst birthday of my life. And I just had to deal. And then out of the clear fucking blue sky, he called me. And then he said to me, I hope that you find what you're looking for because I can't give it to you. And then hung up. And I was like, what the fuck? I want to say 4 months later, I meet my husband. And that year, I was about to turn 19. And this motherfucker called me and apologized. Called me to apologize and tell me how sorry he was and that he loved me. And he wanted to see like what I was doing, who I was doing. And I was like, are you fucking crazy? Why am I even on the phone with you? Because at that point, I was over it. I let go. I let go and I let God. And I'm going to touch on that later. But my God, listen to me. That man had called me and told me he caught a case, told me he was miserable, told me he was this and that. I was like, oh, okay. And that was one of the first times that I then realized, okay, there's something to this of letting go, forgiving, releasing. Because at that moment, I realized I owe you nothing. There was no attachment. There was no weight. There was no grudge, no linger, no pain, no. And I was like, and he started to get crazy on the phone with me. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You not my man. Click. I was like, that was the first time I went, oh shit. I feel nothing. Click. That's forgiveness. And at that moment. And I went, okay, this shit is awful, but there's something to this when you come out on the other side. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is a release. And I released that motherfucker. God rest his soul. And during that time for me, when I had turned 18, I was like, I'm going to be more mature. I'm going to be, right? You don't actually start to realize the amount of emotional maturity that you need to have to forgive someone, especially when we're talking about forgiveness without apology. You have to come to an acceptance. You have to swallow a really big fucking pill that you're never going to get accountability from that person. To me, an apology is also accountability. An apology is saying, I acknowledge that I hurt you. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. When you have to forgive without that component, you have to accept and say, oh shit. You're never going to say sorry. You're never going to accept responsibility that you hurt me. That's fucked up. So now I get to do all this work all by myself, which is also really hard, because how the fuck do you even do that? How do you do that? How do you get that closure without the person who actually hurt you giving it to you? Where are you supposed to find it? In the trees? In the fucking... Where? In the air? I mean, where do you find it? You find it by doing the work. Oh God, it sounds so cliche. It sounds so fucking cringy, but it is. I talk to myself all the time. Like, all the fucking time. When you need to forgive without apology, you almost have to do this self-validation. You have to talk to yourself and say, okay, I feel this way. I'm really hurt. That motherfucker did me wrong. I'm angry. I'm heartbroken. I'm really sad. And my feelings are very valid. I know I'm hurt because they hurt me. They may never take accountability for it, but that doesn't negate how I feel. Just because they are going to pretend as though it never happened doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It happened. Just because they're walking around scot-free, just living their fucking life. Meanwhile, I'm hurt and upset and in fucking shambles, doesn't mean it didn't happen. So I'm not going crazy. It's almost like when people do that to you, it's like a gaslighting in a way, because it's almost like, did it even fucking happen? And you kind of feel crazy because you're like, wait a minute, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm very upset. Like, there's a fucking reason for it, right? Like, I'm not just pulling stuff out of my bum and saying, oh, I'm mad for no fucking reason. No, this person hurt me. And because they want to walk around and dismiss me by ghosting, by not acknowledging, that doesn't negate the fact that it happened. And so you have to reaffirm to yourself, no, I feel these things. My pain is very real. And then you can also ask yourself, what kind of apology am I looking for? And what would that apology change if I got one? What circumstances would change if I got that apology? Would it change our relationship? Would it change our dynamic? Would it change how I feel? Or would the apology just be nice? Sometimes a lot of us are very in tune with our emotions and we know that how we feel is valid, but sometimes having the other person acknowledge what they did in their wrongdoing, sometimes it's just fucking nice. Sometimes it's a nice little cherry on top and you're like, you know what? Finally, you fucking admitted to something. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. And we need to come to terms with the fact that it's not going to happen. And we need to be okay with that. A lot of people are not mature. A lot of people are not emotionally mature, nor are they emotionally intelligent. And they don't know how to recognize that they've done something wrong. They don't know how to apologize for doing something wrong. And like a real apology, like people go, I'm sorry if I hurt you. No, bitch. It's not if you hurt me. Like, I'm not fucking imagining things. You did hurt me. You hurt my feelings. I'm not saying that you probably hurt my feelings. I'm not saying you could have hurt my feelings. I'm saying you hurt my feelings. So people don't know how to apologize for that. People don't know how to say, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. What can I do? Like, how can I make it up to you? Can you please forgive me? People are not apologetic anymore. People just don't do those things because they're not, honestly, people aren't fucking aware sometimes that they could be really shitty people. And that sucks. Like, it sucks so badly because all of this now responsibility to make yourself feel better falls on you. That really sucks. And it's interesting because I was telling my mom this too. She was like, I didn't do anything. And why are people doing this to me? And why are they treating me like this? And why? And they're never going to say sorry. And da da da. And I'm like, no, first of all, they're not going to say sorry because they don't give a shit that they hurt you. That's another thing too. That's another thing. It's like sometimes people do things to you and you believe that they love you and you put your relationship on a level that they don't actually acknowledge. Like you can say, oh, you're my best friend. And said best friend could be like, yeah, she's just a fucking acquaintance. So sometimes people don't match that energy. And so when people do you wrong or they hurt your feelings and they don't apologize, it's because they don't fucking care to. They don't care. Personally, I feel like if people care about you and they love you, they apologize. I feel like that when people don't apologize or when people don't take accountability for their actions and are apologetic or remorseful for hurting you, they don't quite frankly give a fuck about you. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. Ever. I mean, if it's warranted and you're being an asshole, definitely. But if I hurt someone's feelings and if they call me or they text me and they're like, you know, what you did really hurt my feelings and I didn't really like that. And, you know, I'm kind of upset about it. So I feel like I want to have some distance. That would fucking kill me. I would be like, I'm the worst person in the world. Like I would, if it was like my girlfriend or something, I would just be like, I would call her back or text her back or send her a voice memo. I'd probably cry. And I'd be like, I am so sorry that I hurt your feelings. Can you tell me, like, can you play it back for me? And can we kind of talk about it? And just so that I'm aware of my behavior and so I can never fucking do it again. Like if I hurt someone's feelings, I would probably grovel. I mean, I try to apologize in my marriage. The thing is, my husband looks really cute when he cries. I don't make him cry often, but like when I do make him cry, I just like to watch him for a little bit. And then like, I'll just say like, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to, you know, like I didn't mean to make you cry. Like I love you, yada, yada. But I'm always going to grovel and I'm always going to be apologetic. My husband's a little different. But no, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so I try to be as self-aware as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, not a lot of people are. Not a lot of people can acknowledge that they hurt somebody. And it's kind of crazy. And I'm going to tell you this because what I was saying before about my God. Now we know that forgiveness is all in the Bible, and I'm not about to give you some Bible spiel. However, I am a very spiritual woman. I started to realize, actually, this is going to sound a little more witchy than anything else, but my faith in my Lord and my universe and my spiritual witchiness are all imbued as one. Okay. I've noticed and I've learned, and my ex was one example of this. And it is a little crazy to say it's happened a lot. And it's so funny because I was actually out to dinner with my team the last time we were in LA for work. I said, this is going to sound a little crazy. If you try to hurt me, if you try to hurt my kids, or you have like mal de ojo or whatever, understand something. If you do me wrong, and when I mean me, that encompasses my whole life, my kids, my family. If you do me wrong, your whole life is going to fall apart. And let me just say something. I don't wish that on anybody. No matter how bad you hurt me, I never wish ill upon people because that comes back to you when you do that. But what I've seen, my God, the all-powerful, the almighty, the loving, the cherishing, the protecting, I have also seen the fury and the wrath in that protection. Any person that has done me wrong, emotionally, mentally, physically, I notice that if I do see them again or like I hear about them through the grapevine, their life is pretty shitty. And I mean like health issues, financial issues, relationship issues. And it's almost like the harm that you tried to do to me almost like ricocheted and put roots on your own ass. That's exactly what it feels like. Anytime somebody does me wrong, because I've had so many opportunities to practice, it's almost like my body just intrinsically goes, I forgive. I forgive because I'm not going to let that linger and weigh on me anymore. God bless. I'm going to let go and let God. That's what I say. Anytime somebody, whatever, anytime. And it's interesting because then I look at their life and I go, oh my God, I didn't have to do shit. It's like, I forgive you not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. I don't look for payback. I look for peace. My God is my payback. Okay? Karma comes into that version of you did me wrong, baby girl, you're not going to have a great life for a little bit. Like your karma's coming. Your anger is so valid. And your pain is valid. And your frustration is valid. And it just sucks because you have to do it all by yourself. But when we talk about forgiveness and this release in it not being a free pass to be able to do it again, or, I'm just going to let you back in and let you fuck me every which way and sideways and hurt my feelings all over again. That's not what forgiveness is. When we don't forgive, it festers and marinates to almost a rotting point. And I've seen that fermentation span decades. I know people in their 40s all the way to their 80s that still have not forgiven someone from like 40 fucking years ago. And if they're 40, 30 years ago, like to carry that with you for so many years, that means that hurt has to be so brutal. And the thing is, you can't really measure, you can't measure pain. You can't measure trauma, because what will ruin one person's life is just a bad day for another. Can't put a measurement on stuff like that. People absorb things and they go through things in their own way. And that's why it's really hard sometimes when you talk to certain people that have let that pain fester for so long. Just forgive them. It's like, bitch, who are you talking to? Just forgive them. You don't think I've tried? And the problem is that with people like that, I don't really think that they have. Because in their forgiveness, they are expecting accountability. And that, I think, that's where a lot of people go wrong. And so I think that one of the most powerful things that we can do as human beings is to learn to forgive without apology, learn to forgive with accountability, learn to forgive without closure, because closure, accountability, apology, remorse, these are a fantasy. These are things that in a perfect world you would receive, but we have to stop waiting for people to be something that they are not. You have to stop waiting for this falsity that you're owed. People don't owe you shit, especially when they're not decent people. And then when you come to that term, when you come to that realization and you're like, holy shit, I'm not going to get anything from this person, that they will never apologize, that they will never change, and they will never acknowledge your hurt. It's brutal. It is awful. But once you come to that realization and you accept it, you accepting that realization does not equate to you letting shit slide. Your acceptance does not equate to your forgetfulness, in that you're just going to fucking forget what they did to you and you're just going to let it happen all over again. Absolutely not. When you accept this truth, this really brutal, bullshit ass truth, you get your power back. And you stop waiting around for something that they will never be able to give you. So for me, it's very easy to forgive because I'm like, I forgive you. And now I know you. I forgive you, even though you have no idea what you've done to me. And sometimes when we have relationships with people that we can't cut off and release them and remove them from our lives, we need to take a step back and remove ourselves from the equation for a little while. Temporary, not forever. And when people start to notice a shift and a change, then we can discuss it. Hey, you did this. You never apologized. You never acknowledged that you hurt me. And so your lack of acknowledgement made me feel a lack of love. And then you'll see what they say. You know, sometimes that's the flow of a relationship, and it's not always going to be linear and smooth and beautiful. You know, people are people and they change. But ultimately, this forgiveness that we practice, it's not for their betterment. It's for ours. And it's the choice of saying, I'm not holding on to this anymore. I'm done. And you'll know. You'll know when you're done and when you want to forgive. And you'll know that you've forgiven because the memory of it will have no effect on you. And the thing about forgiveness is that it's not a one-time thing. It's not where you go like, okay, I forgive and now I can fucking forgive everybody and I'm great and I'm at peace. No, that's not the way that it works. Like anything, practicing forgiveness is a habit. Practicing forgiveness is this new ritual that you have to do in your life and implement into your life. And it doesn't happen like this. It happens through practice. And unfortunately, people need to do you dirty in order for you to practice forgiveness. And that's just it. It is a muscle. I feel like every habit, anything that I talk about on my show, habit changes and mindset, whatever, these are muscles. These are like muscles that you have to work and practice in order for them to be strong, in order for them to become a part of your core, in order for them to be a constant in your life. And it's going to take multiple times. It's going to take multiple times in just one scenario in order for you to feel like, okay, maybe I did forgive them. Because you can say, hey, I want to forgive you, but that doesn't mean that you have forgiven. That doesn't mean that you got to the end point of saying they're forgiven. Because when you make the choice to say, I want to forgive this person, that doesn't mean that automatically everything is great now and you forgave them. It takes work. It takes days. It takes months to forgive people, years even. But the point is to do the work. It's not a gift for them. It's peace and freedom and release for you and your soul and your spirit. And a lot of people don't deserve your forgiveness, but you deserve your peace. And the only way sometimes for us to give that to ourselves is to learn how to forgive without apology, forgive without accountability. Some days are going to be really easy and feel like you're fucking breezing through it. Other days are going to be like you're battling with your own ego, because sometimes forgiveness feels like it goes against the grain of holding our ego. And I think I'll do a whole episode on ego because I'm currently killing mine. But some days it's going to feel like you're battling with your own ego. And unfortunately, both of those pieces are a part of what it takes to forgive someone, to learn how to forgive people. Because even though you're forgiving without that person taking accountability for their actions, you are holding them accountable by forgiving them. You are saying what you did to me was not okay. So I forgive you, but it will never happen again. That's forgiveness. We don't forgive and forget. We forgive and redirect. And that is all for today's episode. If you cannot get enough of me the same way I cannot get enough of you, go ahead and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Latinaly Podcast. And be sure to watch us on YouTube and on Spotify, and you can listen everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you have any burning questions, any piping hot tea, or anything you just want to chat with me about, and you want to do it anonymously, you can go to our NGL link, ngl.link/Latinaly Podcast, and I will answer all of your submissions in my monthly segment, Signed Kaya. Or you can head over to kayaburgos.com and you can ask us there too. And if you or anyone you know or anyone you want to be a guest on the Latinaly Podcast, go ahead and email us at latinalypodcast@gmail.com. I'm your host, Kaya Burgos. This is the Latinaly Podcast, where we are untamed, uncensored, and always unapologetic. And I'll see you next week.